Yo, guys, welcome back to another late night commentary. It's currently 1:40 in the AM, and I'm bringing you guys this commentary match. It's me on the left playing Labrynth, and Eric on the right playing some ye old Fire King. If you guys know anything about this matchup, it's almost impossible for Labrynth to actually win this, but I'm gonna do my damn best to bring this home for you guys, right? So, Eric starts off nothing too crazy. Sanctuary, going into a Fire King island after summoning the Ponyx, and he's gonna activate island. I'm gonna Ash that, and that pretty much cooks the Fire King board for the first turn at least. So he sets one card face down, passes it over to me. I'm gonna do a an extra banish for 6, drawing Pot of Greed, and I'm gonna make a really skillful play here. You're gonna see me set 5 and pass turn. Yeah, really riveting gameplay over on my side. So passing it over to him, I'm gonna activate Welcome Labrynth, and he's gonna Ash that. All happens in the draw phase. So standby and main phase, they get standby phase passes, goes to main phase. He's gonna activate the Fire King Island, destroying the Ponyx and summoning the Garunix. Really pro play right here, innovative. He's gonna summon it, activate the effect, and I'm gonna think here. Now, if I have an Imperm here, this is definitely where you want to drop in. That's exactly what you see go down right here. Imperming the Garunix is the the choke point of the deck essentially, because Garunix can get it gets so much advantage. I mean, it can either pop Kieran, Barong, can pop Arvada. It really gets the resource loop going. So now you're going to see me activate the big Welcome Labrynth. I'm assuming this is in the end phase right here, and I'm trying to make a read on what his back row could be. And I mean, at this point, I think it's the only right option is it's probably an Imperm. I think if it was a Burning Skyfire or whatever the quick play is, he probably would have activated it already. And since I haven't controlled a monster since he's had that back row set, I'm assuming it's going to be an Imperm, right? So you're gonna see me summon the lady, and then it has to get bounced back to my hand, and then in the end phase I can activate the effect to summon it again. And then drawing for my turn. You can see another Extrav in my hand, so who needs an extra deck? Gonna banish another 6 for the Pot of Greed. So putting 3 cards back in the extra deck, drawing 2. Looks like I got 3 cards back in the hand, 2 cards set, and a lady on the field. So I'm honestly set up pretty well right here. There's no way to confirm if that back row is an Imperm or not, because the lady can't be targeted by card effects. So we're just gonna have to wait until I play another monster. So lady's gonna attack into the Garunix, hit over for some damage. It's gonna get sent back to the grave. I'm gonna set 2 cards face down, pass it over to him. Now, normal summoning a Ponyx. Really insane play right here, but this gets him access to a Skyburner. And Skyburner can really mess my field up. So really considering my options right here. I think I pick up the Daruma Cannon, because it's possible for me to just flip it face down, and then his Skyburn wouldn't be able to target any Fire Kings on his side of the field, but decide against that. Instead, I'm going to activate Terror the Underroot to... So this card, I really like this card against Fire King. I think it's an incredible card. I'm going to target his Fire King Island on the field and a Garunix in the grave. If you don't know what this card does, it sends the card on field to grave, and then sets the card in grave onto the field. Now the interaction with this and Fire King is if they have the Garunix, you set the Garunix and you send the Fire King Island, and then on a new chain, Fire King Island will activate to pop the monsters on their side of the field, including the Garunix. And since Garunix wasn't in hand or grave when said monsters were destroyed, it won't activate to summon itself back. So I think that card is almost key to beating the Fire King matchup with Labrynth, because other than that, a lot of your traps just don't do enough against the matchup. Looks like Looks like the Fire King player is contemplating activating Skyburn, but is going to decide against it and activate Kieran instead to pop a fire monster they control. I believe that might have been enchained to the Fire King Island also. So Kieran effect, resolving, popping my welcome, and then he's also going to activate Skyburn to destroy my back row. He's slowly but surely cleaning up my field and just really minimizing any options that I do have. I'm going to activate the big welcome in my grave to bounce back the Ponix to his hand, and the reason for that is I'm trying to prevent the Grunix from getting summoned. You know, being able to trigger and summon itself. So bouncing the Ponix, and that's going to trigger my welcome in grave to set it back to the field. He passes over to me, draw for turn. Activating Butler. If you guys are unfamiliar with this, it discards itself and then allows me to either special summon a Labrynth monster from the hand or set a normal trap from the hand, and it can be activated this turn. In this instance, I'm going to activate or summon the Lovely. Sorry about that. And he is going to activate the Super Polymerization, going into a Garura. And that's going to just clean my board right there. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can really do about that. Card literally says you cannot respond to it, so I mean, just get absolutely butt fucked right there. I'm going to summon the Ariana off of my welcome, activate the effect to search. Right here, it looks like I put a spell to the top of the deck, and I'm considering that I'm gonna grab the field spell, and what I'm looking to do here is just clean up the rest of the Fire King player's field. So activating that, he's gonna activate Kieran effect, popping the Ponix, and that's gonna trigger a Grunix and Grave. I mean, once Fire Kings has a resource loop established, it's really hard to break it unless you have a way to, either banish or shuffle back the Grunix. That card is just absolutely key to the whole strategy, essentially. On the summon of Grunix, I'm going to activate the big welcome. You're going to see me fiddle with my extra deck right here, and it's because I am absolutely, I know I'm getting cooked right here. They have their resource loop established, and it's going to be really hard for me to break this. So summoning Lovely from grave, bouncing back the Ariana, and I'm thinking on which card I want to destroy. I decide I'm going to pop the Grunix because there's really, the only other options right here, to me at least, let me know if you guys see a different line, but popping Sanctuary doesn't necessarily do anything. Popping the Kieran allows him to summon back and pop a card on my side of the field. He also will get to resolve the Grunix to send something else other than Kieran. And then the third option is popping the Garura, and he gets to draw a card and still resolve Grunix. So just right here, there's not a whole lot of good options right here. So now I'm thinking right here, I think I have a chance to summon back the Arius. He's just checking out the field spell. A lot of people have, misconceptions about the field spell. They think that, the pop either happens on resolution, like after the card resolves, or like on a new chain. But it's the field spell gives the welcome traps the effect to destroy a card after their original effect resolves. So it all happens in the same chain, on the same resolution. You get a pop a card after you resolve the first effect of the trap. So Lovely effect is going to set a card from the grave. I didn't see what I set, but I'm not too sure it matters right here because the XYZ is pretty damn strong. It's going to be pretty rough to break this. I think I have a big welcome in grave, but if I don't have a level 8 fiend on the field, then I can't bounce his XYZ to hand. So adding his Ponix back, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of seeing that, you know, there's not a whole lot I can do. I think it's pretty much game over almost at this point. He's gonna pop the field spell, gaining 500. Normal summon Arvada and activate Sanctuary, and that's all I need to see. Alrighty, hopping right into game 2. I'm gonna draw my hand, excessively hand shuffle it, trying to put the pieces in my mind together, figuring out how to play this hand out. I'm gonna activate Chandelier, sending my Ice Dragon's Prison. Honestly, I think Ice Dragon's Prison is another card that's very good into the Fire King matchup. It banishes certain pieces, it gets the Grunics out of grave so they can't just keep looping it. But I'm gonna set a welcome right here off the Chandelier, and that should tell my opponent that I have a big welcome, because you're never just gonna be setting a regular welcome. I mean, if you're doing that, you probably have a big welcome. So he's gonna normal summon Ponyx, activate add Skyburn. That tells me that he either has a Sanctuary or Fire King Island in hand, and sure enough, he does. He activates the Sanctuary, placing the island. He's gonna activate Island Effect, and I'm gonna Ash that. Solid Ash Blossom. I mean, if you want to Ash Blossom anything on the Fire King combo, at least right now, before Phantom Nightmare, then, you know, you're gonna want to hit the island. So right now I'm making the read on the back row that that's a Skyburn, because I saw that he added it to his hand earlier in the turn. So in his end phase, I'm going to activate the welcome. It gets Ash, and then activate big welcome. This one's going to resolve, and I'm contemplating what I want to add right here. Now there's not a whole lot of options because I don't have another card in hand. The only realistic options I can see right now is going to be the Arius, and then the effect of Chandelier. It's going to add itself to hand because a monster left the field by a trap effect. So he's activating the Skyburn from the hand, so clearly that set card is not going to be a Skyburn. Pops his Ponyx, pops my back row. I'm going to activate Shang effect, sending the Arius, setting a trap from the deck, and then drawing for turn. It's not looking too good for me right here. Activating the welcome. Summoning the Lovely. Reason for this is I can set a big welcome from my grave. Now, I'm not in the best position here. I have a Lovely on field, one card in the hand, and you know, this is definitely not the position you want to be when you're playing a trap deck. You always want to keep the advantage, because it's very hard to generate advantage once it comes to the later game. So setting a welcome from the grave. Honestly, this might not have been the best play unless the set card or the card I set from hand was a big welcome. That's the only way I could see this being the correct line of play right here. Activating a Judgment on the normal summon of Ponyx. I want to keep him off of his resource loop, you know, as long as possible. So he's going to activate Fire King Island. I'm going to activate Big Welcome to bounce it back so it can't resolve. If you guys don't know, continuous spells and field spells must be face up on the field to resolve their effect after activating. So activating the regular welcome right here. Summoning the Arius. And then Arius effect is going to get to search. And right here, he's going to drop another super polymerization. Definitely not ideal, but hey, that is a huge misplay on my part. I should have been able to read that after game 1. I saw that he was playing it, so extending into another Dark Fiend is probably not the best idea. I mean, just get absolutely shit on by Super Poly. And I mean, although the Fire King player doesn't have too many cards to play with in hand, he has better top decks than I do at this point. Even with 2 traps in my hand, they don't do as much as his top decks are going to do, right? So I'm going to set 2, pass it over to him. Activating Welcome Labrynth, I'm going to summon one from the deck. Not a whole lot of options right here. Probably going to summon the Arius. Ooh, summoning the lovely, or the Lady Labrynth. And then activating the big Welcome. Now right here, I think it's probably the better play to just summon the lovely from the deck. Or from the grave. So summoning the Arius, probably going to search a coup clock right here, and then just eradicate him for spells. Yep. So searching the coup clock off Arius, I'm just showing him what traps and what information he knows in my hand. So activating the coup clock and eradicating him, hitting the spells. So I get to see his hand, you know, absolutely insane. He's got 3 monsters and a trap in the hand. So it's that's one of the problems I definitely have with eradicating Eradicator Virus. In certain matchups it doesn't do a whole lot unless you really get lucky and you can just rip their hand. But in a case like this, you know, I see the writing on the wall. He's just gonna absolutely cook me. This is, like I said at the beginning, this is a very hard matchup for Fire King, or for Labrynth. I think the Fire King matchup is, you know, borderline impossible, but hey, you're gonna have those with certain decks. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching till the end. Let me know what kind of feedback you guys have for me in the comments. I read and respond to just about every single one of those. So other than that, I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.